Your Carthage Fires! First, let's meet the starting lineups first for the visiting Warriors. At defense, number 0, Hunter Russell. In goal, number 3, Ian Jamaica. At midfield, number 4, William Parsons. At attack, number 6, Foss Roman. At attack, number 8, Spencer Defendant. At defense, point number 10, Jackson Schneider. At midfield, number 14, Matthew Parsons. At defense, number 18, Jake Nelson. At defense, 21, Marshall Gregg. At midfield, number 44, Maximus Lamentador. The head coach for the Warriors is Jordan Joe Keller. And now the starters for your Carthage Firebirds. At attack, number 1, Andrew Johnson. At attack, number 6, George Birchfield. At midfield, number 9, Diego Smilanek. At defense, 26, George Morbrad. At attack, number 30, Ben Kropp. In goal for the Firebirds, 35, Jake Williamson. At attack, number 40, Alec Gerd. At attack, 41, Colin Poitras. At attack, number 45, Andrew Fry. And at defense, 47, Jameson Saul. The head coach for the Firebirds is David Nett. He's assisted by Matthew Torrance. Fans, at this time, we ask you to please rise if you are able to remove your caps and honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
And welcome all. It's NCAA Men's Lacrosse as the Firebirds of Carthage College welcome the visiting Warriors of Hendrix College. Hello, everybody. I'm Peter Ferreri. Thank you for joining us on this Saturday afternoon. It's cold. We all know that. So for those enjoying us from the warmth of the inside, whether it's the Tarbell Arena or at the campus of Hendrix or at home, or if you're listening to us from the stands, stay warm. 19 degrees, 19-mile-per-hour winds. It's winter in Kenosha, even though the clocks may have pushed back or forward, fell ahead, pushed behind. Whichever way it goes, it's going to be an outstanding matchup this afternoon. Carthage comes in 3-1 on the season so far. They're, of course, led by one of the best goal scorers around, Andrew Johnson, along with reigning CCIW Player of the Week, Colin Poitras. As for Hendrix, they sit at a modest 4-4 record overall. They've had some outstanding numbers, and last season was led by some great players such as Alec Davis, Nick Corals, and Brandon Barnes, to name a few. Carthage, the home Firebirds, will be in the whites with red numbers and letters, black trim. The visiting Warriors in their away blacks with orange numbers and letters and white trim. False start in the circle gives the Warriors possession. So again, we thank you for joining us on this Saturday afternoon, mid-March. The joys of March in the upper Midwest. One day could be this. Tomorrow might be 50. We'll be back here tomorrow, so make sure you set your reminders to join us back-to-back days for college lacrosse on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. We talked about Poitras being the CCIW Offensive Player of the Week. It's from Winnipeg, Manitoba. Collected his first Player of the Week honors of this year after, of course, scoring a team best 7 goals against Lake Forest in their 22-9 victory on March the 8th. He has 154 goals for Carthage, which is currently third in the record books behind while his 222 career points is fourth. So shot clock expired. Carthage's defense able to weather the storm early on. Shot clock resets. Had a chance to talk to some of the Carthage parents earlier today. So, shout out to Mrs. Birchfield for stopping by the booth, introducing herself. Carthage always a very welcoming community when I get the opportunity to call CCIW games. So back from X, running around is Johnson, one of the best players in all the CCIW and Division III play. Round to the left side to Johnson. He's not afraid to take that tough angle. Dodges back in. Good set, give and go. Down, kicked away. Nice kick save. As Andrew Fry was looking for the goal and couldn't deliver. Ian DeMaca in goal, the sophomore for Hendrix. And a yellow is going to be issued. So substitutions coming around. I believe the yellow is going to be issued on Alec Gurn, the junior out of St. Viator. So advantage is going to go the way of Hendrix with the full 70-second shot clock. And it is. So Gurn takes a knee on the sidelines. They're calling for a reset of the shot clock. Last time these teams played, just over a year ago, a 10-7 victory for Carthage over the Warriors. That's Feb the 12th of 22. It's a 5-3 lead at halftime. Bounce. And they're saying reset of the shot clock. It looks like it hit off the near pipe. Hendrix gets back possession. Swatted from behind. Still to no avail. Strong challenge from Carthage. They come away with possession. Oh, misguided handle. Oh, it would have been a breakaway shot for Alec Gurn. I'm sure he'd like to have that one back. Started turning the head before he got possession. Jake Williamson in goal for the Firebirds today. He has had most of the minutes this season. Hayden Jones at 90 minutes himself, and Josiah Gartner also getting some play. And Hendrix scores the first goal of the afternoon. Number 44, Maximus LaMendola, the junior, coming away victorious for the Warriors as they draw the first goal of this blustery afternoon. We talked about LaMendola, an outstanding career. Last year in his games played, 37 of 91 in the face-offs. Carthage is having a tough time holding possession right now. Carthage has not lost against Hendrix in any of their games played. They have played 5 times. And answering right back as the snow starts to bluster. Number 6 coming away from it, George Birchfield out of Lincoln Way Central. Getting his teammates hyped up after that goal. And I believe a timeout might have been called. And it is. So timeout called on the field. We'll take it with them. It's tied at 1 apiece. I'm Peter Ferreri. Thanks for joining us on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. After the brief timeout, we're back. 1-1 your score, 10:02 on the clock. Hendrix scored first, and the Firebirds answered back. Goal by George Birchfield. Birchfield, his 10th goal of the season, has played in all 4 contests. Takes the team lead now with 18 points. Carthage comes away with possession, so they'll like to see what they can set up. Snow flurries have slowed down a bit. It's been a back and forth afternoon of weather, but great save by Jamaica. Carthage trying to come away with it on the ground. Hard shove above the shoulders by Johnson. It's going to yield a whistle. Out of play. Possession goes Firebirds. Firebirds looking for some defensive help. Fry now passed to the near side, swinging around back to X is Kroc. Johnson has it back at X now. Looks back for Kroc, finds him. Wide offensive attack right now. Looks like a soft man coverage right now for Hendrix. Actually, looks like they're at zone, but it doesn't matter as the Firebirds find their second goal of the afternoon.
Scored by number 40.
Number 40, Alec Gurn out of Barrington, Illinois. Gurn gets his 10th goal. He's now in double digits in this early season. And 17 points. So a spread out offensive attack for this Carthage College squad, as they lead 2-1 just about midway through the first. Sam Wallace, the defender, coming away with possession. He decides to just take a shot, rips it far side. We'll see who comes away with possession, and it will be Firebirds' possession. Looked like the Johnson back at X was closest to when that went out of play. Gurn up at point, but now back to X to Johnson. Looping around. Thought about taking the shot, didn't, all the way back. Oh, nice shot, nice save, better save. Jamaica dropped to the knee, took it off the side of the shoe. And they prevent the 3-1 run, or 3-0 run. So now the Warriors of Hendrix setting up their offensive attack. Hendrix has an outstanding season so far. A lot of goals scored or a lot scored against. They defeated Carroll a week ago. Carroll University 26-1. Before that, they lost 20-11. And prior to that, they beat Huntington College 21-5. So they either score a lot or allow a lot against them. So we'll see which way this one goes. Good job defensively by the Firebirds making a dodge. Good job in transition. Johnson flicks ahead, outside, inside. Oh my goodness. They're saying he hit the line. Alec Gurn with a near highlight reel shot and goal as he dove, but body landed in the circle. As you see here at beautiful Art Keller Field, have the men's lines and women's lines. Oh, nice pass, but not able to take control are the Warriors, and Carthage comes away with it, but they're going to give the possession arrow back and reset the shot clock to the Warriors. Dodging around, kick, save, and a beauty. Jake Williamson. Carthage happy to come away with possession. Birchfield now getting the pressure from behind. He makes a run. Back to Birchfield. Looks inside, nothing there for the pass. Out to Gurn. Gurn fires! Top left corner. A missile from the left side.
40, Alec Gurn.
Gurn having himself an afternoon after he had an early violation that sent him to the sideline. He comes back out and finds the back of the twine. 3-1 the lead now for the Firebirds. Gurn 2 out of the 3 goals as we just passed 10 minutes in your opening quarter. Again, welcome to the CCIW home coverage of Carthage College Athletics on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Glad you're with us on this Saturday afternoon. Keeping himself going back to X now is going to be Matty Parsons. Parsons, of course, a defender as he retreats back past the retention line. Coming up to take the spot is Max Vogelbacher. Strong check, bounced. And on the spot, it's going to be Klaus Rowan, the attackman junior. Head coach Jordan Drumheller for his first season, a 2010 Greensboro grad. David Neff still at the helm for the Firebirds. Going long-range shot, that goes out of play. Possession stays with La Mendola. Again, one of the face-off specialists for this Warrior squad. Nice pass inside. Oh, it hits off the far pipe. La Mendola with the flick of the wrist to his teammate. Fluid shot just hit the pipe. As Johnson now sets up back to X, where he has found home for many years for this Firebird squad. Sprint. Legal screen. Oh my goodness, from way downtown. Subbing in, finding the goal. Andrew Fry out of Broomfield, Colorado. Extends the lead to 3. The Archer delivers to the back of the net. My goodness. No hesitation. Got the beautiful screen from his teammate. Took 3 extra steps. Wound up. Fired. A very challenging angle, and nonetheless fine success for Carthage. Carthage comes away with possession. Hit from behind, still on the ground. The body's hitting the turf. Resetting the shot clock. Now as Warriors come away with it after that ground ball. Keeping it ahead. Having it swatted from behind. Good turnover by the Firebirds, led by the defensive charge of Sammy Wallace. But as that goes out of play, possession back to the Warriors. So Thunder 3 remaining in the first. Carthage 4, Warriors 1. Hendrix scored the opening goal, but it's been all Carthage on their 4-0 run after that first goal by Hendrix. Spinning around, short range, going too far, but on the spot is going to be Durf Nielsen, the grad student for Hendrix. Outlet pass to Vogelbacher. Thought he might have the angle, he didn't. Looking for anything. See if they get it back to Durf Nielsen. That was good defense by 23. Damien Boucher. Taken away by Carthage. A lot of one-touch passing now. Let's see how the ride works out. Oh, the ride can't even get there for Carthage. Just sprinting around the defender. Shot! Goal for Carthage. Ben Kroc out of Vernon Hills. The long-range shots by Carthage have all been finding the back of the net. No fear for this Firebird squad. Kroc now with his 8th goal on the season. Carthage has been shooting at a .323 clip. Again, their only loss just over a week ago at Hope College, 13-11. A well-attended game on that 4th of March. Carthage has outscored their opponents 17-9 in the first, and also outshot their opponents 61-39. So right on cue, with about a minute 20 remaining in this opening quarter. Again, we talked about Hendrix, tale of two teams. They either score a lot and don't let the opponent score, or it's the exact opposite. I'm sure this is after that 1-0 start, they thought, okay, this may be one of the games where we have our high offensive output. Not the case ever since. 10-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Pass inside, shoves down the goalie after the goal. And Carthage.
Firebirds goal, scored by number 41.
So coming away with the goal, Colin Poitras, the reigning CCIW Offensive Player of the Week. After he scored, though, he was, half a step in front of Jamaica. Might have a timeout here with 45 seconds remaining. And we do. Hendrix calls the timeout. We'll take it with him. Poitras extends the lead 6-1 for the Firebirds on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. We're back with 45 seconds remaining. In your opening quarter, it's the Firebirds 6, the Warriors 1. Again, as stated, for those joining us now, thank you. Hendrix scored the opening goal, and then Carthage went on a 6-0 tear and have been pressuring offensively and defensively this Warrior squad. So coming away with the face-off is Carthage. Shot clock not necessarily a factor with 20 seconds remaining in this opening quarter. Carthage, why not? Scoring another one. And Drew Johnson giving the hot cheese. 7-1 with 11.8 remaining in the first. When I say it's been all Carthage, it only really started to heat up about 6 minutes ago. It was about 3-1, and Hendrix off the far pipe almost came within one goal. Ever since that missed shot, Carthage has been just on absolute fire. Don't be surprised if Carthage goes for one more shot. Look for the pass, picked off by Hendrix. Long range. And at the end of one, the home Firebirds lead 7-1 against the visiting Warriors of Hendrix. When we come back, quarter number 2 action on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Welcome back. Quarter number 2 action about to get underway. I'm Peter Ferreri for the Firebird Broadcasting Network. 15 minutes on the clock. It is a 7-1 lead for the home Firebirds. A very aggressive face-off. And let's see which way the whistle's going to go for that. And I believe it will go to Carthage. So just as you thought Hendrix was going to come into Kenosha and get their first win against this Firebird squad in their 5-game, now this is the 6th game between the two squads. After that first goal, again, Hendrix has had a very good offensive season so far. Pass in, goal. I can't even finish my statement. 27 seconds into the second quarter. Carthage comes out with another goal. 8-1. Hendrix is absolutely just playing flat-footed, as there is not much they can do when Carthage is hardly even having to put forth the effort besides their passing. Running up, pass, 1, 2, 3, shot, goal. As it continues to happen, on a blustery and chilly day in Kenosha. Making a pull at it. Let's see if Hendrix can come away with it. Bounces in the air, still on the ground. Carthage comes away with it. Strong challenge. Once again, the Firebirds on the offensive. Setting up that offensive attack is Poitras. We talked about the reigning CCIW Player of the Week. Back at X. Johnson streaking. Another goal by the Firebirds. We talked about the skill set of this squad. Twofold. One, they have not been afraid to go long range with their shots. And we're talking 10, 15 yards easily away from the goal. And they're just finding that top shelf over the shoulders of Jamaica. The second part is when those defenders are then pressing to the outside. 1-2 passes. I mean, in that circumstance, it was just such a good offensive set and rotation by the Firebirds. Johnson just he could have literally handed it to his teammate and found the back of the net. So as we sit 9-1, Birchfield with 2 goals, Johnson with a goal, Lane, Kroc, 2 by Gurn, Poitras, and Fry. As it seems Carthage is more than content to get to that 10-goal lead. Johnson back at X. Great vision. Running inside. Diving. Goal. Trying to call the line. Not getting the call. Jamaica trying to plead with the official that the shooter fell on the half circle. As Jamaica now just beside himself, but nonetheless Poitras out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, brings the lead 10-1. We aren't even a full 3 minutes into the second quarter. Scooped up, still on the ground. Who can come away with the ground ball? Who else? Andrew Johnson. Ten to 1 for the Firebirds. Carthage, quick pass inside. Oh, good defense. Wasn't sure why all the players stopped. Maybe they thought that there was an attempt. Push from behind. Shot from the hip. To no avail for Jake Westland. Hendrix dodges inside, outside, swiped away. Good defensive stand by Williamson. Back at X now is Hendrix. Carthage 1 away from a 10-goal lead. Shooting from the hip, not able to find anything, is Dorf Nielsen. Wide offensive attack now by Hendrix. They're down to 25 on the shot clock. Pushing far side is Williams. He runs back to X. Might keep it himself. Spinning. Falls down. Bounces in the air with less than 10 seconds now. Somebody for Hendrix has to take that shot. Spinning. Losing possession. Firebirds pick it up. Trying to get pushed from behind. Let's see how the transition goes. It's been successful all day for Carthage. Far side. Johnson thought about it. Keeps it. Fires. The bottom left corner. Ripping the cage. Firebirds hit the 10-point mark. 11-1. They lead by 10 goals against the visiting Warriors of Hendrix. So score is 11-1 on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Thank you for joining us. Again, Hendrix started with the opening goal. Carthage has not taken the foot off the gas ever since. Lots of whistles for that one, but Andrew Johnson looking near side. Again, Hendrix just came off a big victory just a few days ago, a 21-6 win against Carroll University. Shot bounces off the turf. The one hopper makes it 12-1. Inside, outside, near and far. Carthage's offense has not been stopped. We talked about the other wins and losses. The opening game of the season for Hendrix against Centenary was 22-3. They also beat LaGrange 20-13. They then fell 3 straight before, again, 2 out of the last 3, 26 and 21 on the offensive side, 5-1 defensively. So this is not the defensive effort that I'm sure the Hendrix faithful was expecting to see. I'm sure this is exactly what Carthage had drawn up, as they'll likely get some depth and bench players in the contest in short order. Far side, ground, bouncer. There is not a thing Jamaica can do right now. My goodness, that one went far side bouncer. The first handful of goals were all top shelf high cheese, and now they're just playing the ground game. Hendrix needs a timeout. The score sits 13-1. We'll return on the Firebird Broadcasting Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, with 2 goals in today's game, Andrew Johnson now has 100 career goals. Congratulations, Andrew Johnson.
Price
Welcome back to the Firebird Broadcasting Network. I'm Peter Ferreri. It has been a Carthage offensive clinic as they lead Hendrix 13-1. We talked about Carthage's most recent game, that having been a victory against Lake Forest 22-9. They're already 9 away from that final goal count. They have not allowed more than 13 on the season against them in a single game. That was their loss to Hope. However, much different scenario here this afternoon. Hendrix has not had a defensive answer, also have lost the majority of the draw controls and the face-offs. Carthage 12 for 15. So not what the doctor ordered for this Hendrix squad. If they're not getting possession, they're not getting goals. Oh, nice dodge inside. Kick save. But when the goalie, that being Jake Williamson out of Webster Groves High School, is able to deliver outstanding play in the cage, not much you could do. Quick shot. There's the second goal. Finally, Hendrix able to find the second one. Klaus Rowan, the junior.
Warriors goal is scored by number 6, Klaus Rowan.
Klaus Rowan out of Marietta, Georgia. The junior himself, son of Tom and Suzanne. Played for the Cobb County All-Star team in high school. Also finished as the Walker High School scoring leader. So good to see some offense. Johnson spins around. Dodging back in. Bounce shot to no avail. Johnson spins, looks for the pick. Hopping back. Plenty of time on the shot clock to get the shot that the Firebirds want. Outless pass. Long range, still no good. Jake Westland runs it down. 19 seconds on the shot clock. 6:45 on the game clock. We're back underway. Dodging to the right side. Back to Johnson. Did that hit the side of the goal or in? They are saying goal. So Carthage does come away with another goal. So I thought that hit the outside of the net. So did most of the players on the field. As the unrelenting wind picks up in Kenosha, so does the offensive output of the Firebirds. They are now up 14-2 with 6:45 remaining. Face off one, ground ball picked up. Joey Workman. Hendrix now trying to come away with it. They do. That's going to be a wide open shot. Bounces in and good. Answering right back is Maximus La Mendola. Again, this Warrior squad knows how to score, so the junior out of Dallas, Texas, able to help his team out. The chemical physics major, math minor, tri-sport athlete in high school, lacrosse, soccer, and football. I want to know how he had time for all of that. So similar situation to the last time. The one-handed cradle running ahead by Workman. Near sideline now is Poitras. Poitras thought about the pass, decided to hold on himself back to X, 6:11 on the clock, 60 seconds on the shot clock. Spinning, Poitras passes down, in, goal, Johnson, rinse and repeat. Johnson tickles the twine. As running out of play now is Bryce Peak. This offensive attack for Carthage has just been something to marvel. As you heard during the last break, Andrew Johnson has now surpassed 100 career goals, so congrats to him. So possession is going to go to Hendrix. But the officials are having a conversation right now. Not quite sure about what, but if we hear about it, we'll let you know. Officials today: Randall Cohn, Steve Perez, Harold Caesar. Great job so far with their officiating prowess. Oh, point blank range. No stopping that one. Great job by Spencer Dorf-Nielsen. So Hendrix showing a little bit of life now. Back to within 11. Now it may seem like a very high and insurmountable goal or lead. However, as we stated, Carthage, they've scored a lot, but they've allowed up to 13. It won't be enough for a victory today. However, on the flip side, Hendrix has scored in the 20s multiple times. So something Hendrix is used to doing is scoring a lot. Something Carthage is not used to doing is allowing a lot of scores, so something's got to give. So resetting up the offensive attack with 5:04 on the clock. Amendola now near side. Looking back to teammate at X is Dorf-Nielsen. Decides to keep it himself. Rolls it. Shoots it. Side of the net. Trying to clear things out near side. Let's see if the ride can catch up. Having a retreat is Smilenick. But good job on the outlet pass. Retreating back now is number 8, Sam Wallace, the defender. Always appreciate the men's games. Easy to pick out the defenders. They got the long sticks. Birchfield now makes a move toward the top. 4 minutes remaining until halftime. I'm sure both these teams will appreciate a few minutes to warm up. Bounce shot, no good. Hits the defenders before it even reaches the area of the cage. No ride coming. Is able to jog it out on the near side is Jake Nelson. He tries to pass. That goes out of play, but running it down. And that misguided pass is going to allow for Carthage to regain possession immediately. So 15-4 your score. Good ride, but bobbing and weaving through like a point guard in basketball. Great job was Carthage. Hendrix comes away with it. Nice to see Timmy Martino getting some playing time, number 48 for Carthage. And that'll be a goal. So Hendrix back to within 10. Amendola with another one. Amendola last year played and started in all 14 contests with 24 goals and 28 assists. A lot of whistles flying. Hendrix now back within 10. We talked about that they have that offensive ability to score. Carthage now resetting that shot clock at 80. I'm sure they would just like to use as much of that as possible, not give Hendrix any more opportunities, or many more, or could even say limit their opportunities remaining in this second quarter. Few Bonso's been able to pick it up clean. Finally, is Birchfield. He looks inside. Point blank shot. The high Gouda for number 31, Will Clemens, out of Wheaton North High School.
Firebirds goal scored by number 31, William Clemens. Assist number 6, George Birchfield.
So Clemens now his 5th of the season. Birchfield adds another assist to his tally mark as the lead extended back to 11-16-5. Johnson now back at X. Far side. The aforementioned Timmy Martino. Nice pass inside. Nicer shot and goal. 45. Andrew Fry, the Fry guy. Timmy Martino, the pride of the Mustangs of St. Rita High School, with a beautiful transition pass, splitting about 4 defenders, and just like that, 17-5 with just under 60 seconds remaining until half. Facing off now. No sun peeking through in sight. There's a little bit of sun peeking through earlier in the game. That is not the circumstance now as the wind is picked up, heading directly east. Behind us is Lake Michigan. The wind whipping through with 38 seconds remaining until half. Looking for the pass. Johnson has it himself. He's had some crisp passing. There's one of them. Almost deflected in. Saved by Jamaica. Making a run. Oh, beautiful save to the knee. And just firing from his hip is Williamson. And at half, the home Firebirds have a resounding 17-5 lead. Can the visiting Warriors come back in the second half, or will Carthage continue on to their fourth victory of the year? We'll find out after this halftime break on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Welcome back to the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Out of halftime, Carthage leads 17-5 against the visiting Warriors and come away with the second half face-off and already take a shot. My goodness, if they would have scored in 4 seconds, that would have been something. Pete Ferreri here from cold and chilly Kenosha, Wisconsin, our Keller Field, and the lovely campus of Carthage. Looking at some numbers, LaMandola leads the way offensively for the visiting Warriors with 3 goals. Joining him in the goal category, we'll take a second as I almost felt it coming. And there it is. Goal, Carthage, 18-5. As it only takes 33 seconds to get another goal for the Firebirds. They almost had it 5 seconds into half. This time around, needed 33. So, using the phrase picking up where they left off, no easier way to define it. The assist by Gurn, the shot by Poitras, face-off, coming away with possession, Carthage. Setting it back up at the point is going to be Andy Fry. Back to X. Swinging around. Going low. Kick save. Able to come away with that one was Jamaica. He has been challenged time and time and time again defensively. Just been a tough go for Ian Jamaica. The 5'6" player, the Xavier transfer, son of Alan Amy, the English major. Whether the hardest part for Jamaica has indeed been the array of shots that Carthage has delivered. I mean, all 4 corners have been painted, high to low, bouncing in the air, jump shots. There's zero consistency. You know, you talk about head on a swivel, but nonetheless, there's only so much space that you can cover. Long range, short range, passing. And whistle's going to be called against the Firebirds. So now the Warriors have possession. Running it back to X is Joshua Key. Key is just kind of walking it off right now, trying to have his teammates set something up. Also in X is Dorf-Nielsen. Dorf-Nielsen spinning around, point blank on the far pipe. Dorf-Nielsen finds his second goal out of Natick, Massachusetts. Last year had a men's honor of the week. Just about a year ago to the week. Son of Whit and Julie, biology major. We talked about it. This Warrior squad can score. They just haven't had the possessions to amount toward any attempts. When you're losing in the ground ball category and the face-off category as much as they are, along with such a high percentage goal situation. So, for example, ground balls 29-14 Carthage. Shots 32-19 Carthage. Face-offs 20-7 Carthage. Long range shot picked up. Good job defensively, Jamaica. As Carthage spins and they're able to keep possession. So Jamaica now playing much more controlled. Back to Johnson. Long range shot. High. Gouda. Rack it up and knock it down. Andrew Fry. Sizzling hot. 19-6. The Firebirds lead with 10:50 remaining in the third. So already a 13-goal lead, 19-6 in the third. Tough face-off as Hendrix able to come away with it. Swatted from behind, still in the air, running it down. Kind of caught in between all the mess was Smilenick. He was going to plow over one of the Hendrix players, Marshall Gregg, I believe. But because it was up in the air, that might have been Colin Tolsma. But nonetheless, it was up in the air, so he kind of held held back because he's like, well, I don't want to get him before the ball gets there. I want to try to, or I can get to the ball. So tough call, but nonetheless, Hendrix still has possession. Swatted away defensively. Oh, what a play. As the fans cheer on. Great defensive awareness by Sammy Wallace. As Wallace now goes back. Pass inside. Back of the cage. Rage in the cage. 20-6. Carthage, another one. With 9:33 to go in the third quarter. Season high for Carthage is 25 against Marion in their season opener. That was 25-11. And just 10 days ago, they defeated Lake Forest with a score of 22-9. So they are 3 away from their season, or excuse me, 5 away from their season high. Poitras had 7 goals, and Ben Kroc with 6 in that 22-9 victory against Lake Forest. Looking near side, spinning around. Push from behind, and a yellow's going to be pulled. So hitting the ground hard was La Mendola. And we're waiting to see which player they're actually going to call the flag on. It looks to be Jameson Stahl, the defender out of Stillwater, Minnesota, is who's going to take the knee. So a quick 30 on the clock for Stahl. A fairly clean game so far for both squads. Pump fake in, nothing there. Back to X. Bounce shot, no good, goes too far. Running it down is Rowan. With the man down situation, looks to expire in about 5 seconds. A 3-on-1 defensive output. Running away with it. Full sprint ahead. Full steam ahead by Fry. Passes off. Shot. Goal. Bang. Colin Poitras, the senior out of Transcona Collegiate Institute. That's why he's the reigning CCIW Offensive Player of the Week. Another goal for the Firebirds. Another goal by Poitras. Poitras at 4 goals. Gurn at 4 goals. Fry at 4 goals. You get a goal. You get a goal. You get a goal. 21-6. This game is another one, serves as fair warning to the CCIW. Another strong Firebird squad on the field yet again. Thought about the shot, had it poked from behind, still on the ground, up in the air. Somebody's got to come away with it. Far side, back to X to Johnson. All of his teammates, far side of the cage. Snow flurrying in again. No, it's hard to see with the camera angle, but it is there. Birchfield dodges in. Short range upper left corner. Firebirds find it again. That was a situation where you had the gap. Most of his teammates were near pipe. He took it himself, went from the far side, dodged in, but went long range, meaning he went from physically outside to in, dodged in, and then went upper right shoulder on goalie Demeka. Score now sits 22-6 with 7:04 remaining in the third. Running it down. Bounced up in the air. Who can come away with it? 4, 5, 6 players. 7. Half the team. Good effort by both squads, but now resetting up is Johnson. Spinning around, looking for something, is Stell, who's in the game. Johnson, kick save. D'Amico with a nice one. Also in the game, Willie Clemens. Johnson looking for the outlet pass. Shot clock reset, so still 45 seconds remaining. Taken away! Making a run now. The Warriors. Nice crisp pass down. Bounce and another one that doesn't go in. Durf Nielsen had the lane. Pass inside. Point blank. Bang. Nice job. La Mendola. One of the bright spots for this Warriors squad, but that, of course, set up by the crisp passing back from X. As the score sits 22-7. Running with no stick, Joey Workman. Usually advised to hold on to that one. I kid. As the snow picks up yet again. But the sun is now peeking through. Not a meteorologist, just calling it like it is. Back to X. Looking for something is Durf Nielsen. Keeps it himself right into the net of Williamson. Far run ahead. Martino passes. That one will stay with Carthage as Johnson's on the spot. Not many better in the CCIW than what Johnson is able to deliver. Running near side. 25 on the shot clock. Birchfield. Outlet pass. Down. Reset of the shot clock. Nice save. The power stroke. Bryce Peak out of Downers Grove South. Not able to find the back of the net as D'Amico steps up defensively. Good challenge, though. Now making a run is Clemens. Clemens to Johnson. Warriors come away with it with 3:30 remaining in the third. Making sprint ahead. Now back at X himself with the ball, Austin Williams, the midfielder freshman. Box and rolls, shoots down, save by Williamson. In the game near side, 0-0 now, Tyler Hendrix, the junior out of Lockport Township. And a timeout going to be called. We shall take it with them. The score, 22-7. Carthage leads at home, 2:32 remaining in the third. We'll return on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Welcome back to the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Pete Ferreri, 2:24 on the clock, 22-7 your score. Bounce shot, no good. As we've discussed before, if you're just joining us, thank you for joining us. Hendrix scored the opening goal of the game, as then Carthage has not looked back ever since. 19 degrees with almost 20-mile-per-hour winds here in Kenosha. Not the most pleasant conditions. Pass inside, right side, goal for the Firebirds.
Firebirds goal.
Another one by 41, Colin Poitras. What a find for this Firebird squad. Time and time again, he has delivered. We talked about him being the reigning CCIW Offensive Player of the Week, as he's looking to make another run at that. Poitras, son of Kim and Richard, and the environmental study major, was on the All-Manitoba High School Lacrosse League as a junior and senior, 3-year member of the Transcona College Institute hockey team. Oh, why not? He was also team captain his senior year. He was also CCIW Offensive Player of the Week in 2020 before that season shut down. Did not play last year, but in 2021 played 14 games out of all 14, with starting 13 of them. Pass, Johnson shoots down, ground ball, taken away defensively. Marshall Gregg, shout out there, has done a very good job. I know things have not gone the way of Hendrix, but a shining spot has been the defensive play of Marshall Gregg. Near side now for Josh Stair, the sophomore to Libertyville. He loses possession, taken back by Hendrix. Running, shooting, scoring, La Mendola. Another goal by the Warriors with 23.5 ticks remaining in the third. Hendrix, part of the SAA, the Southern Athletic Association, along with other schools such as Barry, Center Rhodes, Southern, Oglethorpe, Millsaps, and Sewanee. So Dorf Nielsen, himself one of the reigning SAA Players of the Week. And as a shot clock and game clock expire, at the end of 3, we sit at the Firebirds of Carthage 23 and the visiting Warriors of Hendrix 8. We'll come back for the conclusion in fourth quarter of NCAA Division III Men's Lacrosse on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. 15 minutes remain on the clock. I'm sure for both of these teams and fans, they'd like for that clock to just keep moving along as it is chilly conditions. But Hendrix, I'm sure, would love to have as much time as possible. Trailing 23-8, but you want to try to get as much momentum you can heading into your future games. As we look ahead on that schedule for the Warriors of Hendrix, they stay into town, and on Tuesday, and by town I mean in the Midwest, as they will head down south to Chicago and play the Scarlet Hawks of the Illinois Institute of Technology, right off the red and green line of Chicago, before they head out of town, and or I should say out of the Midwest yet again, as they take on Berry College and Oglethorpe University down in Mount Berry, Georgia, and Atlanta, Georgia, as they continue on their SAA play. And as the players come back on the onto the field, we thank you for joining us on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. As for this Hendrix squad we talked about, they're part of the SAA conference. And after their not-so-sunny vacation to the Midwest, after they play IIT on Tuesday, it is all-conference play the remainder of the way. It's about shot and no good, as they play each team in their SAA conference one time. 3 at home and 3 in away. So the next time for you home Warrior fans, you'll see the team back down in Conway, Arkansas at Young Wives Memorial Stadium. It is going to be the 31st of this month against Sewanee. As for the Firebirds, of course, part of the CCIW, it's very early in their season. That is no good. They'll be back tomorrow against Dubuque for heading out of town Wednesday against Benedictine. Then they're back in town next Saturday against Albion. And their CCIW play starts April the 1st against Elmhurst University. Oh, what a beautiful pass inside, but not able to keep control in fluid motion was Truett Wilson, who's checked into the game for the Firebirds. Pass back to X. This is where you see most of the probably main players, main starters for the Firebirds. They have a very deep bench in the game. Johnny Lane, Josh Stair in as well. Jamison Stahl. Back to X goes Hendrix. Spinning around, shot goes wide. Waiting to see, might have a goal change as well, or a change of goalie in the cage. Shot down and a goal scored.
Hendrix goal.
So it is going to be
scored by number 44, Maximus Lamendola.
Amendola gets the goal. Again, looks like Hayden Jones, the 6'3 sophomore out of Mayo High School, has checked into the game for the Firebirds. Again, with such a resounding lead for Carthage, they'll have plenty of time. Jaden Billy, the sophomore out of Lawrence, Kansas, has checked in. It's almost a complete line change, you could say. Workman comes away with it, gets some practice in the face-off circle. Poitras still in the game, though. Why not for him? Johnny Lane now thought about it. Push from behind. He falls. Still had possession. Strong strikes. 3-on-2. Possession stays with Carthage. It's Michael Stell, the senior out of West Lynn High School. You know what? Give him a goal as he breaks the bank. The senior out of West Lynn, Oregon. Stell with his first goal of the season. So 2 assists, 2 points out of his 4 games played. So this is now turning into one of those contests where, hey, if you want to get a goal in the season, or a save, or a steal, or a ground ball, this is where you get those numbers in that stat column, as it's, again, one of the final non-conference games for both of these squads. We have 11:27 remaining in the contest. We thank you for joining us on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Again, we will be back tomorrow. As they used to say, same bat time, same bat channel. Dodging back in. Thinking long range. Keeping themselves Birchfield. Back to X is Willie Clemens. Clemens tries to pass off. That should stay into play. Thought about the dodge, keeping himself firing high. And that'll stay with the Firebirds. But again, hustle play. Marshall Gregg making the dive defensively for Hendrix. being down this many goals, that's got to be something that Coach Drumheller loves to see about his team. I mean, the odds are not in your favor to win this contest, and you are still putting forth every effort and holding on to the ball right now. So Marshall Gregg, the senior from Lakeaway, Texas, son of Preston and Jody with a business econ major. Last year was the 2022 All-SAA honorable mention player and was a defensive MVP of his high school his senior year. Tommy Wimmer's in the game now, the freshman out of Bishop Fenwick High School. We're at 9.5 remaining in the game. Long range shot. Oh, hits the near pipe. Michael Stell falling down, one too many spins, but how about that? Gets right back up. Even with the two defenders, is able to toss it off, hand it off, goal. Beautiful play by Austin Williams.
Hendrix goal scored by number 35.
That might be one of the best plays Hendrix had all day. That's, again, the hustle we talked about. If you're Coach Drumheller and assistant coach Dan Destooney, Hendrix grad himself, class of 2016, the odds are you are not going to win this game. But playing so well defensively, trying to do everything you can. Offensively, LaMendola, 3 bob and weaves, dodges, falls, keeps possession, and still able to hand it off to Williams to get the goal. I mean, that's outstanding play. You got about a 2-hour commute down to Chicago. Not sure if they'll do that drive this evening or stay local. That one goes away. But nonetheless, when you do, you're like, hey, okay, we have some things to work on, but the hustle is a great thing to show. In addition to that, regardless of their outcome against IIT when they head into SAA conference play, that's something you look at. Making a run down near side is Rowan. Rowan goes low. And that's going to stay with the Firebirds, not happy about it. Or stay with the Warriors. My apologies. Hayden Jones thought he might have had it. Again, it's where the farthest player with their stick extension is in relation to the ball going out of play. So if you have 2 players from opposing teams running after the ball, as it goes out of play, who's the farthest? And the stick is an extension of who is that farthest. So a misguided pass goes right back, and Matty Parsons now. Near side, Rowan. Back to the top now to LaMendola. Box and roll. Back to the top. Grounder. Good. Klaus Rowan, the junior. Another goal by Hendrix. They're now back 24-11 with 7:24 remaining. But a 13-goal lead by Carthage, so they'll likely be able to ride this one out. But again, a lot of encouraging pieces for this Warrior squad. Facing off at the center C. Hard hit from behind, but Joey Workman able to come away with it. Workman back to Billy. Billy now making a run. Long run around Nelson. He sends it back to McCarty to reset up the attack, who will then hand off to Stell. Far side, Johnny Lane. Johnny Lane back to Peak. Peak doubled in the zone. Stell thought long range. Far side, off the shoe and up. Not finding the back of the net. It was Johnny Lane out of Bloomington, Minnesota. Six and a half remaining in the contest. Peter Ferreri, Firebird Broadcasting Network. Thank you for joining us on this Saturday afternoon. Point blank save. Hayden Jones. Warriors still maintain possession, but Jones with a great save. Dodging near side. On the spot. Right over the shoulder of Jones is another goal by the Warriors. Klaus Rowan. As it's now a 12-goal lead, so it seems every 90 seconds now, the Warriors are finding another goal. Klaus Rowan out of the Walker School from Marietta, Georgia. Also an active participant in animal shelters over the summer. Full-on sprint, dodging to the outside, back to X. Oh, mishandled pass. William Parsons will pick that up. He tries to go ahead. Ground ball. Running past it is Westland. Still on the ground. Who can come away with it? 4 Warriors around 1 Firebird. Pass to the near side. Pete Vodovnik. Junior out of Kennedy High School. Save and bounced up, so Jamaica stays in the game. Like that coaching decision at this point, try to get him as many reps as possible. This fourth quarter has definitely favored the Warriors. Now, albeit most of the starters are out for the Firebirds, but nonetheless. And I believe we're going to have a timeout by Hendrix. As the score sits, the Firebirds 24, the Warriors 12. We'll come back for the final 4.5 on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. We're back, Firebird Broadcasting Network. 4-3-8 is what remains in this game. Score may show, of course, 24-12, so, you may say, okay, a bit more lopsided, favoring that of the Firebirds. And it was that way most of the game. However, the Warriors have really stood tall in the fourth. Of course, being from Georgia, most of these players likely not used to some of these conditions, we'll say, as it is not something that even those local can get used to after all. But nonetheless, with 4:15, Carthage leads by 12. Shot down goes away. That one hits the ground, swatted down by Hunter Deford. Pretty much the Carthage squad trying to get everybody's name said this afternoon. No reason not to. Will Jost in the game. Bounce shot and a beauty. 3:42 remaining. Warriors with another one.
Warriors goal scored by number 8.
Score by number 8, Spencer Dorf-Nielsen, the reigning SAA Offensive Player of the Week in men's lacrosse. Assist by none other than La Mendola. Josh Flores in the game as well for the Firebirds. As well as George Mo Broughton, freshman out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. As the snow has definitely picked up here in the waning moments of the contest. Plowed over was Willie Clemens. Making a run at him was Truett Wilson to no avail. Oh, swipe from behind. Wilson comes away, shots and goals, shoots and goals. As the official throws the flag. But Wilson,
Scored by number 15. Truett.
number 15, Truett Wilson, the freshman at a Kimberly High School. He has hardly had any playing time, let alone a shot. Congrats to him on that nice early career achievement. I wasn't really expecting that to come so quickly. So out of Combined Locks Wisconsin, sent a Mike and Jenny, marketing major as of now. Varsity Team Spirit Award winner in 2019. All-conference and team MVP during his junior and senior year. How about this? Broke the state record for goals in a season with 97 during his senior year. Reached the Wisconsin State playoffs for the first time in program history. And now getting, by all accounts, by my measurement, his first career collegiate goal. Those are the players you talk about. The future of this Firebird squad will, of course, shine bright. Jackson Schneider in the game for the Warriors. 25-13 your score. Under 2 minutes remaining now, 25-13. As that ground ball is going right back toward that 50-yard line, the retaining line for these players. Shot no good, running it down to the Warriors. back at X. Dodging inside. Trying to box and roll. Tries to literally roll it in. No good. Stuck on the back of the net. Picking up the pieces is Hayden Jones. He's one of the only few players not to play Josiah Gartner, the third string goalie. Maybe he gets some playing time tomorrow if things favor that of the Firebirds. I can understand the concept of if we're going to bring in a backup, have that backup play the remainder of the game. Another flag by the officials as we sit with 40 seconds remaining in the contest. But it seems with less time on the game clock than the shot clock that the Firebirds and Warriors are content with just letting things ride out. There's that little bit of defensive pressure. We'll see if the Warriors are going to force the hand of the Firebirds to take another shot or at least pass off in that circumstance. But it looks like things are going to end as such with both teams now just content with riding out the clock. That's going to be it. That's going to be all she wrote. As Carthage ties their season high in goals with 25 against the 13 of the visiting Warriors of Hendrix College. Let's look at some of the final numbers for this afternoon. Again, 25-13 your score. 53-43 was the shot differential. So a very close shot differential for a 12-point goal differential. Ground balls heavily favor that of the Firebirds, 54-33. 11 saves for Hendrix to 10 of Carthage. Face-offs, however, was the story of today's game. 31 for Carthage to 11 of Hendrix. 21-20 differential. One more turnover for that of Hendrix. And Carthage having the two penalties on the afternoon. So again, Carthage will be back tomorrow afternoon against Dubuque as Hendrix takes a few days before they head to Chicago to take on the Scarlet Hawks of the Illinois Institute of Technology. I want to thank everybody this afternoon for joining us. I'm sure if you listened at home or here with us at the field, or for those who were Hendrix fans, thank you as well for joining us this afternoon. On behalf of all of the producers, the camera operators, and directors, for the executive producer, as always on these broadcasts, and producer, Mike Love and John Voinovich, the camera operators, Sam, the sports information director at Carthage, we thank you for joining us. Again, your final from Kenosha is the Firebirds of Carthage 25 and the Warriors of Hendrix 13. Have a good rest of your afternoon, everybody, and we'll be back with you tomorrow.